Hey strong siders, today's topic, tight hamstrings. Should you stretch them? Probably not. Most of the time when people feel a tight muscle, they have this need to stretch it. But sometimes that muscle is not in need of stretching. For instance, if we sit way too long, we might get short, tight hip flexors. What this causes is this anterior pelvic tilt of our hips. Imagine your hips as a bucket and you're dumping water forward. This arches your lower back. So in this scenario, your hamstrings might tighten to try to level your hips to prevent your lower back from going into any excess extension, potentially hurting your spine. This inability to control a neutral pelvis can also affect the simplest things as your stride, walking and running. What ends up happening is as you pull your leg back, instead of the leg actually moving back through a neutral pelvis, the pelvis tilts forward into that anterior pelvic tilt, arching the lower back, forcing the hamstring to tighten even more. This could be affecting you on every single step. Let's look at some exercises you can do to strengthen the hamstrings while developing this strong neutral hip position. To find neutral hip, you can lay on the ground, arching your lower back off the ground and then rolling it back into the ground. You'll see I can put my hand underneath here, and now when I roll my back in, I can't move my hand underneath. That flat back is where I want to do this drive, trying to create a 180-degree range of motion in between my hip and stomach. When I arch my lower back, you'll see my stomach's distended and I can't get full range of motion through that hip. So flatten the back, drive it up so you feel like you're holding yourself with your glutes and the back of your legs. Next, all the same rules apply. We'll still find that neutral back into the ground, and then we'll drive our hips up. This time I'm on sliders and I'm going to slowly extend my legs out and pull them back in, lengthening and shortening my hamstrings, but with a stable hip. If you find this is very difficult, you can do just the slide out portion, put the hips down on the ground, then pull your heels back in. The goal is to feel it in the back of your legs and your glutes, not your lower back while you're supporting. If you don't have sliders, you can use a towel or socked feet on a tile or linoleum floor, or you can use a Swiss ball if you've got one available as well. Drive your hips up, hold them up high the entire time, maintaining that 180-degree angle between your hips and your stomach, drawing your heels in. Same things here, you want to feel in the back of the legs and the glutes, not the lower back. In the following clip, we're going to look at a leg curl machine. There's a lot of arguments for and against leg curl machines. If you are going to use one, try to get one that allows you to lay down so that your hip flexors aren't sitting short in this motion. We want to have them extended at the hip. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to get into it. I'm going to show you a poor form here where my knees drive into the pad and my hips move away and my lower back arches. You can understand the amount of compensation going in trying to get it up. There is a better way to do it if you're going to do it this way. Try to extend the legs first, lifting the knees off and having the upper part of your hip dig in and then curl. You should be feeling this in the belly of the hamstring, not behind the knees or into the calves, especially not on the lower back. You see how nice and neutral it sits when you lift the knees off the pad first. Well, there you go, strong siders. Instead of thinking you need to stretch the hamstrings, think more about regaining their function within the system that they're supposed to be working. Stay strong, stay injury free. We'll see you next time.